Messing with you guys. Alright, I had to fix you really quick. Oh shit, now I'm pushing buttons. Ah, motherfucker. Okay. Alright. Hey! Riding with the witch. I got dread boners everywhere. Look at this. Look like a crazy person. Okay. Alright, here we go. Backing out this driveway. It's always easier to do when my hubby's not here and he's at work right now, so I get to just whirl it around and back it up. Back it up, back it up. And okay. Hold on, I'm paying attention really quick because there's trash cans behind me. Live in the city, so we got trash cans over here. In Wisconsin, we don't do that. Wisconsin, you keep your trash cans in your yard until trash day and then you wheel it out to the front. But over here, we got the trash cans out in the alleys, so it's a little bit, I don't know. Yeah, so I had posted on Facebook any ideas of what I should talk about today, but I don't know why the YouTube community seems a little bit more chit-chatty than the Facebook one does. I think it has a lot to do with people not wanting to really be seen commenting on you know, like a witch's Facebook, because there's a lot of witches who are still you know, still kind of hiding, not hiding, but not very open, which is fine. Hey Elaine, what's up? I'm located in Melrose Park, so not too far from Chicago, just a little suburb, a little bit away. I don't know, it takes me like 20 minutes to get to work, so it's not too bad. It's just enough to be away from all the craziness. I don't know, so yeah, I didn't really have a whole idea of what I wanted to talk about. I guess I've been kind of getting questions recently. I've been getting questions about having to do. Hey, hi Mo. Hey, I didn't see the last one. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm like driving, but hey everybody. So I had gotten questions about botanicas and my feelings about botanicas. Hey Renee. And what, let's see, have you done a video talking about your relationship with Yemaya? I have done some videos about talking about, oh thank you Mo, I have done some videos talking about my relationship with Yemaya, which I mean I guess it's something that I could always, because there's always something new that I realize that I've been tied to her since I was born. So when I was born September 28th, that's my birthday. Hey Tequila! So I was born September 28th, and that is my birthday. My birthstone is a sapphire. So if you guys are familiar with the colors that represent Yemaya, you'll see that sapphire blue, that very dark blue, that is a color of Yemaya. So I was actually born to Yemaya because that color is my birthstone. That is my, you know, that everyone has their birthstone colors, and mine is that sapphire blue. So I do have my school ring that I still wear. It's my birthstone with that sapphire. Also, when I was a kid, here's the funny thing, is my goddess, she's a water goddess. I can't swim. I cannot swim. I don't know how to swim. I actually almost drowned when I was little. and I almost drowned in a wave pool. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to like the Dells, Wisconsin Dells, but they have a Noah's Ark water park, and they have a wave pool in there. And you know, even though I didn't know how to swim, I would go with my cousin like every year when we were kids, and my cousin, you know, she knew how to swim and stuff like that, but I didn't know how to swim, and even though I didn't know how, I didn't allow that to keep me from like going on the slides and stuff like that. I would still freak out and panic because I always had this feeling I was gonna drown because I didn't know how to swim. Nobody ever taught me. We were in the wave pool, and I always stayed in like the more shallow end, but in the shallow end, these waves are like really strong, you know, like, so they kind of crashed down on me, and I was a little kid, and I didn't weigh, I mean, I was a little skinny ass little girl. Oh, I'm daughter of Oshun and Yemaya. Las dos aguas. Oh, nice. Nice, Elaine. Oh, thank you, Lilith. Thank you. So I got pushed over by the waves in this wave pool, and when I fell into the water, there was inner tubes that were on top of me, and I couldn't get up. And when I was down there, I was struggling to try to get up, but every time I tried to get up, like, there was inner tubes right above me, and I just couldn't get up. And I opened my eyes, and I had seen like everybody's legs and feet, and I was freaking out. It felt like I was down there forever. All of a sudden, my cousin's mom, she like grabbed me and pulled me up, and like they all thought it was funny because I literally almost drowned in like a foot of water. Like, or maybe it was like a couple feet, but they say it was like a foot of water. That all I had to do was stand up, but that was the thing, is that I couldn't stand up because every time I tried to stand up, there was an inner tube right above my head, and I couldn't get up. So that was another, I feel like that was another time that Yemaya kind of presented herself to me. I was in this water and I was freaking out, but at the same time, it was like, I don't know, I guess I was freaking out that I couldn't get up, but at the same time as I was just like, I knew I was gonna be okay, if that makes any sense. Yeah, there was that, and just the way that I'm just in love with the water. I'm an air sign, but I feel very drawn to water. When I do my workings, there's usually water incorporated. Or some type of water element incorporated, and not necessarily, it doesn't have to be like a glass of water. It could be seashells, it could be seahorses. I love seahorses, and actually my husband reminds me of a seahorse because we had gotten past life readings done, and this is actually his first life that he is actually a man. In all of his other past lives, he has been a woman in all of them. So if you guys know the seahorses is the male that gives birth. So he reminds me of, he's my seahorse. So I do love seahorses. And the way that I was called to Yemaya, because here's the thing too, is that a lot of people that practice the Santeria, that are involved in the Santeria practice, they always say that you have to have a babalao give you your santo. The babalao tells you your santo. Babalao would be like what you would consider like a priest, like a high priest, something like that. Very similar, if I had to say, you know, he'd be like, if you went to a church, it would be like the priest. You know, so the deities speak through him, and then he tells you who your deity is. But the way that it happened for me, hey Desert Siren, good morning everybody. Oh, it's okay. I was just talking about Yemaya and my connection with her. So when I found that Yemaya was my deity, I wasn't told by a babalao, I wasn't told by anybody. The way that I knew this was that she actually came to me in a dream. And in this dream, I was completely surrounded by water. It was just water. And that when I was a little girl, my father, he had a boat. He had a speedboat, and he would always take me out on the water all the time. We would always be on the water. Pretty much every time that I was with my dad, we spent it either on the water, on the beach. We just were always doing something that had to do with water. So some of my best childhood memories have to do with involving water and boating. And you know, so in this dream, I almost remembered what I used to see when I was a kid, because we would be so far out in Lake Michigan that when you're out there, it's like you can't tell the sky from the water. You're just surrounded by blue, just surrounded. You don't know where the water is, you don't know where the sky is, you just see just complete blue. And it's the most beautiful thing. Me and my dad, we would just stand there and we would just like watch, just look out there, and it was just, you know, it just amazed me of how you just could not tell which was which. And you know, it kind of gives you that same, you know, as above so below. Later I was pulled to get away from Catholic representations. Oh, Catholic representations, that's the other thing too, is that within the Hispanic, the Hispanic community, because my mom, she's very dedicated to the Virgin Mary, and her santo is Saint Jude. So San Judas, they say in Spanish. But again, you know, I was always around the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary is another depiction of Yemaya. La Virgen de Regla, she's another depiction of Yemaya. So there's a lot. She's just always been around. And if you look later on, Elegua stopped up to me. Yeah, so Elegua, he is actually, if you look into the Catholic saints, there are a couple santos that represent Elegua as well, a couple different depictions of Elegua. I'm kind of all over the place, you guys. So Elegua is El Santo Niño de Atocha, and also San Martín de Caballero. I just found San Martín is another depiction of Elegua because of my friend. She's, you know, her santo is San Martín, and she had told me that oh, you were born on the Virgin Mary's birthday. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, see, so exactly. So there's different ways that the deities already call to us. So I don't feel like you need somebody to tell you. And that's the thing too, is that I think that this person who was asking me about botanicas, and because she had gotten into a little bit of saying that you gotta have, that she was told that you gotta have a madrina or padrinos or whatever, which madrinas and padrinos, they're basically people that baptize you into that practice. And you know, I don't feel like you need, I mean, it's beautiful to have a ceremony and to be welcomed and everything, but if I was to say if you need it, I don't feel that you need it. I feel that the deities speak to you in certain ways, and they show themselves to you in a way that is more personal. And that, to me, that is more special than somebody telling you or telling me, you know, this is who your deity is. This is who, you know, because then I feel like when somebody tells you, you feel like you got to build that connection. Whereas if it is your deity, you already have that connection, whether you're born on a certain day or, you know, your birthstone or whatever, you already have that connection. And September, in the month of September, Yemaya has a feast day in September. I was born in September. So you notice when you start to really look into what it is that you're being called to, what it is that you're being drawn to, the deity will show themselves to you. You don't need somebody with some type of rank or some type of, you know, label to them to tell you this, because when you speak to the santos or the deities or the goddesses or the gods, when you speak to them, they answer. And when they answer you, they don't answer you verbally. They can't, you know, just talk, but they answer you with visions. They answer you with by showing you things, with signs. It's just for us to look for it and to look more deeper into certain things that's where we find our answers. So they don't, what I like about the deities and the santos and the goddesses and the gods, what I love about them is that you have to silence yourself and you have to pay attention. And you have to look. And you have to be open. So they don't just, you know, like, hey, you know, I'm right here, Nina, it's Yemaya. No, it doesn't work like that. The way that it works is you do less talking, you do less worrying, and you have faith that your deity will come to you. And they probably already have, because from the time that you're born, your deities have already been with you. And sometimes they come to you in different, when you're going through different obstacles in life. For example, the loss of my father. With the loss of my father, I have now had another deity. I just parked, you guys, so now I can kind of read you guys' messages more. I got here right now, just got here. So with the loss of my father, I've had another deity come to me, another santo. And I still have to, because I feel like I already know him, because I feel like my father was tied to that deity. So with his passing and me knowing my father, I feel like I already know who this deity is. I already know him on a personal level. So right now, what I'm in the process of doing is figuring out this connection, which I've been little by little, because you also have to be patient. You cannot push a connection with a deity. The deity wants you to want more knowledge and to have more of the feeling before you start doing researches and stuff like that about certain deities. See what your connection is with them first. See if you do feel called to them. And if you feel called to them, then yeah, start digging for more information. Because I guarantee you that if you have that connection with your deity, you're going to notice more and more things that connect you with that deity. And it's not a coincidence. And, you know, so with the deity that I've been being more called to, I don't know if you guys know of Saint Lazarus or San Lázaro, but in the Santeria practice, he's Babaluaye. So through my father's death, this santo has been coming to me. And the more that how I know my father and how I know what his life was like and how I know what he was drawn to and what his connections were. My father was very connected with dogs. He liked all animals, but dogs were his. He had this certain connection with dogs, and I can even tell when he's around my home, because my boys, they start acting a certain way, and me knowing them how they are, it's like I know he's around. So you know, it's really crazy how certain deities will present themselves to you through different obstacles that you have to go through within your life, and they come to you in certain times and in certain moments, and they might not always stay with you. Babaluaye might not always stay with me. And this is actually the first time that I've been called to another deity, because for me it's always been Yemaya. I've never felt the need to look anywhere else or find other deities or find other goddesses or anything like that, because I've been so fulfilled and with my connection with my goddess. But sometimes you don't even have to be looking. Sometimes they just present themselves, and when they present themselves, that's when you need to acknowledge them, because they're there for a reason. So Babaluaye, he was, if you guys look him up, if you guys are interested in knowing who this deity is, he was a deity that had to do with sickness, with suffering, things like that. Like, and there's certain things that I feel when I hear his name, or when I see an image of him, or like my mom, she has a San Lazaro statue in her home, and when I look at that statue, I feel like that is my dad. And if there was a deity that I had to connect with my father, it would be that deity. So I think that with the loss of my father, I feel that that is the reason why he is starting to come toward me more and more. I can't, at the moment, I can't say if he is going to be one of my deities that is going to continue to stay with me throughout my life. He might be, because I feel that my father, as long as he chooses to, he is going to be with me for a certain amount of time, because when a person passes away, they have choices on the other side that they have to make. With me and my belief, I don't believe that there's heaven and hell. I don't believe that. I believe... Okay, now I get to catch up on these messages. Hold on. We shouldn't have spent thousands of dollars for someone to tell us. Yep, exactly. Okay, oh, that's another thing. I just seen a comment right now about having to spend thousands of dollars for somebody to tell you who your deity is. That's another thing where I do not like about certain practices, is that they do take you for your money. They want you to pay all this money, and then you got to pay for all these gifts, because and I don't mean to like bust it out or anything like that, but I'm just going to keep it real, because I do incorporate a lot of the Santeria practice within my own, and I know about it. But when you are going to be baptized in Santeria, there's certain gifts. There's like all these gifts that you need to receive to represent your deity, to represent your santo. And it's like, like, why need all that? And they do want you to spend money. They want you to spend money for the initiation. Yep, initiation costs anywhere from 20,000 and more. You see that? 20,000 and more. When that deity could just come to you and either to all things witchy, other side are scared to death, believe in the devil's work. Yes, that's the other thing. I don't believe that there is a devil, necessarily a devil. I feel that that is a word that religion has named it, because they feel that there has to be a name to it. But I do know that there is. It's just like that yin and yang. There is a darkness, there is a light, and then there's that little line that separates both of them. So like I was saying, I don't believe that there's a heaven, and I don't believe that there's a hell. What I do believe is that when a person is transitioning, and which I got to witness my father's transitioning, and when his body was starting to shut down, my father, as much as it seemed like he was suffering, because his physical body was suffering. They were giving him morphine like every hour to every 2 hours. They were shooting him with morphine. So I do believe that his physical body was very much suffering, but he was not in his physical body. His spirit was already somewhere else, making choices and making decisions, because they have that right. We all have that right as a spirit, as the spirit that's in this capsule. Once we are transitioning, we have the right to make choices of where we want to go and what we want to do. Some people, if you were a very bad person, and if you killed people, and you victimized children and things like that, there will be a price that you have to pay. And that's where purgatory comes in. There's a place that you have to spend time there. And when people like this get in trouble and they're facing 3 life sentences, a lot of people don't understand, well, how is a person facing 3 life sentences when they're only going to live for a certain amount of time? And I'll tell you this, 3 life sentences, just because you die in this life, you still have 2 more life sentences, and you spend those in purgatory. But if you weren't a bad person, you didn't do anything to physically hurt or harm anybody intentionally, you have choices to make. And that is the thing, is that my father, as much as a problem that he had, my dad has been incarcerated. My father has been to jail. He's been to jail multiple times, but never because he hurt anybody, and never because it was never for selling drugs. It was never for anything like that. My father went to jail because my daddy was a Rolling Stone. He had kids and he couldn't keep up with child support. So my dad would go to jail for that. My dad has never hurt anybody. He would never think about hurting anybody. And my father even though he had kids that he couldn't support, he even took in kids that weren't even his. And financially, he wasn't supporting them, but emotionally, mentally, being there. Anytime that I had something with school, any type of concert, any type of project, my dad was the first person to be there. So he was a very great dad. And so I know that when he was going into transitioning, he was making choices of what he wanted to do. And I feel like right now in the moment, he's still around because he wants to make sure that he wants to make sure that I'm okay before, and he wants to make sure that we're all okay. Me, my brother, my sisters, he wants to make sure that we're all good before he goes ahead and moves on. And they have that right to do that. But when he moves on, he can decide to be in a resting period. And the place where they go to rest, that place is very beautiful. That place would be considered heaven. And I feel like purgatory would be considered hell. But if there is a heaven and a hell, I feel like these are just names that they give these places. But there is a very beautiful place where they can go to rest if they are tired, if their spirits are tired, if they need to rejuvenate and you know, maybe just take a time out. There is a very beautiful place that they go to do that. And once he chooses that he wants to be reborn, then he's reborn again. And I feel, because when I hear certain things, I feel what resonates within me. So I do feel that we have 10 lives that we live. I feel like there are lessons within each of those lives. And if you don't, say you're on life 7, and there's a certain lesson that you're supposed to learn in life 7, and that's the thing, is that nobody tells us what we're supposed to learn. Nobody says, oh, this is what you're going to learn, so focus on this. Nobody tells us that. Sometimes we inherit spirits, and God's presented themselves to us many reasons, yep, that's right, Mo. Yeah, Mo was just saying right now that sometimes we're presented with different deities. I just saw a crow right now. See that? I'm like all over the place, but I'm like always like, I see a crow because it's my spirit animal. But yes, Mo, that's true. So, okay, if we are on life 7 and there's something that we're supposed to learn in this life and nobody has told us that, it's because we're supposed to find that. And a lot of people mess this up because they feel like, oh, you know, life is about having fun and just doing all this. I'm the same way with crows. Summertime fairy, yeah, yes. Every time I see them flying around, I'm just like, ah, I see you. You're with me. So if you don't learn that lesson, and that life ends, because we're never promised tomorrow. That life ends and you didn't learn that lesson, guess what? You got to repeat it. So you could stay stuck on life 7 for 10 years before you move on to life 8. So when you feel like there's times when you have, and it could be, I kind of feel like deja vu has something to do with this. But when you feel like you're kind of doing the same thing and you've already done this before, or you've already been in this place before, or you've met this person before, or, you know, that feeling of feeling familiar with certain places, locations, people, that takes place because it is somewhere that you've already been. It is something that you've already done. But there was something that wasn't done right the first time, or that you didn't learn that first time. So what I always try to do when I feel like I'm having the feeling of deja vu, I try to see how it sits with me. Is this a good feeling or is it a bad feeling? If it's a bad feeling, then I pay more attention. I pay closer attention, and I try to make sure that whatever situation I'm in, I think very clearly about what it is that I'm going to say, what it is that I'm going to do, or what questions need to be asked, or what I need to learn for myself. Hey, Joe. So I pay really close attention to certain things like this, and I do feel that we do have 10 lives, and through all these lives, there's a lesson to be learned, and our main goal through all of these lives is to join the divine. Joining the divine is joining our gods and goddesses, and even coming back to be spirit guides, because I feel like we're all meant to achieve a level of being able to be a guide for somebody else that is going to have to go through these 10 lives themselves. That's where I feel, and this is my truth, I feel like our spirit guides are all spirits that have joined the divine, that have all gone through these life's lessons, and they've accomplished all of their teachings, all of their things that they were supposed to do, and now they're able to be around us and to help guide us so that we can be at the level that they're at. So that is where I feel like spirit guides come from. And not everybody might agree with me, and you guys don't have to, because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody has their own truth. I'm not saying that my truth has to change your truth, but if you hear what it is that I'm saying and you're like, that's what I feel, then that what it is that I'm saying, and you listening to this ain't coincidence either. This is us vibing. This is us being on that same vibration, that same frequency, where, because right now somebody could be listening to what I'm talking about and they could be like, oh, that's blah 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 bullshit, you know, she's talking a bunch of shit, you know. But then there's that person that's hearing me and they're like, yes, that's what it is. Yes, this is what I've been trying to tell people. Yes. You know, if you're on that side saying that, then we're on the same level. We're on that same vibration. You've already learned what it is that I've learned, and we're already there. But for the people that are like, just thinking that I'm just talking out my ass, you still have some levels to accomplish before it is that you could listen to this video and know that even if it's not 100% what I'm saying that's true, there's a good portion of it that does hold truth, because through spiritual practice and through becoming closer to your deities, they speak to you and they teach you these things that physical people can't really tell you. It's something that is more known. It's almost like the information gets dropped into your crown chakra and you just somehow know it. Not saying you're a know-it-all, but you know certain truths that you didn't hear from anybody's mouth, or you might not have seen it, or you might not have lived it, but you somehow have this knowing, this higher knowing, and you know that it's true. Not because anybody told you, not because Babalao told you that you paid $20,000, $200,000, I think she said $200,000 to know this information, but because when the deities speak to you, when the santos speak to you, there's no price that you can put on that. They don't want anything. They don't want money. They don't want you to give up your financial, if you're in a bad financial state and you're trying to save up this $200,000 for somebody to tell you who your santo is, who your deity is, they don't want that. If anything, that pulls you further away from them. What they do want is for you to seek them, for you to call to them, and for you to acknowledge when they do show themselves to you. And from there, they give you more than what you could give to them. So that's it. It's a little bit of me talking. That's been a Riding with the Witch, and I'm here, and I've been sitting here for a while. You guys can see right here, this bench. This is right next door. Our door is right over there. I'll probably, you know what? I'll probably walk in. I'll walk in with you. I don't know if Red Witch is. I think Red Witch is here. I got a lot of shit. Oh, you're welcome, Nidra. Oh, Lilith, crows are your spirit animal too? I'm okay, awesome. See that? We got a lot of stuff in common. Yeah, I appreciate that y'all stayed with me this long, and you know that you guys woke up this morning and decided to ride along with me. This is kind of what my rides are like, and then afterwards I gotta get all my shit out the car. Ugh. You should see how many bags we like come and go with, and some of this stuff. Mine's a bee and a geese. Aw, you're welcome, Elaine. Nidra, those are some cute spirit animals. I'll say hi to the Red Witch for you, Mo. You might be able to say hi to her yourself. Hold on. Because I'm going to go up in there right now if I can get out my car. Oh, shit. Okay. You see all this? This is how we come. It's not just me. Red Witch is the same way. I got to come out here and pick up garbage because... Oh, look it. Red Witch is here. I'm live. Mo said hi.
I'm picking up garbage. Hi, Mo. Love you.
So, yeah, we got all the wind brought in all this garbage from everywhere. It's not little garbage. We got some fucking boxes right here. We got all types of stuff. Nidra says hi. So, that has been it, you guys. And I'm gonna help. That was me yesterday picking up trash in this crazy, the crazy yesterday. Summertime Ferry, I don't know if you're from Chicago too, but it's been really windy around here. Oh, Renee says hi. So, I don't know if you're in Chicago, but yes, it has been crazy windy over here. Today, it's very cold. What is this? Oh, these are pretty. Oh, these are so pretty.
Well, they blew in from somewhere.
Yep. Thank you, universe. It's going to become part of the decor. These are so cute. They look new. Wonder where it came from. Orange. Oh, it's been windy in Cali, too. Oh, Summertime Ferry, you were born and raised here in Chicago. You should come visit us sometime. Alright, y'all, well, I'm gonna get my shit inside the shop and I'm gonna help my sister pick up because you have to love the earth.
Oh, look at that.
Look at it. That is beautiful. It's a red leaf for the Red Witch.
That is, oh my God.
Summertime Ferry, we look forward to meeting you. Alright, y'all. I will see you guys. Hold on, let me flip you around. Flip you. Alright, I will see you guys probably tomorrow. I might do another video tomorrow. If there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, more of my theories, my knowings, or anything.
I'm trying to come out into the video world.
Huh?
Or me, I'm trying to come out in the video world.
Yeah, or from Red Witch. If you guys want to hear anything from Wed. I was going to call you Wed Witch. If you guys want to hear anything from Red Witch, oh, we love you guys. We love you guys. But if you guys want to hear anything or know anything, or if there's anything that you guys are wanting us to talk about or whatever, go ahead and drop your questions, your topics, anything. Go ahead and try. Oh, I got to get some chapstick. Oh, my lips are... I look like the Exorcist right now. If I smile too big, my lips are going to crack and bleed. Shit. Alright. I will see you guys later. Drop your questions or anything like that in the comments down below. And we'll be sure to do a video. All right. See you guys later. Blessed be.